But maybe the shocker of the day, and Baltimore got upset by Indianapolis, but probably the shocker of the day.
That was a shocker too.
That was an upset for sure. But I would say Dallas,
the quarterback, right?
Yeah. Yep, Gardner Minshew, who is a very good backup.
That sounds like a furniture store, but anyway, he got the job done.
But Dallas, which had been the most impressive team in the league over the first two games, outscoring the two New York teams 70-10. They play Arizona and get beat. And get beat by double figures, 28-16.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, not really. 12 points. That's 2 scores. And that was a shocking upset. Nobody's saying the Cowboys season is over, but that's a game they obviously should have won. Joshua Dobbs, Rob, the journeyman. He's only in his 4th year. He's already a journeyman. Fourth year. He's been on 3 different teams. 4th round draft pick. He beat the Cowboys and played well. And Dak Prescott afterwards talked about it, and here's what he said.
On top of the world. We know who we are. And in that same sense, I'm sure the media got what they wanted. For us, it hadn't been but one undefeated team in this league, ever. So, it sucks. It's humbling. But to say it's a wake-up call, we knew we had a lot of adversity, and we just didn't get it done. And I think it just goes back to myself, the offense, and the red zone. So, I mean, we get better at there, we win this game. But we've got to fix that area, period.
Well, we'll talk about the red zone futility because that was a big deal for the Cowboys and has been a big deal for them in these last 2 games. It didn't matter when against the Giants. That game got out of hand so quickly. But certainly against the Jets last week and the Cardinals yesterday, it was an issue, and it's something they got to fix. But, Rob, I want to address, and we got it cut off on that clip we heard. You just heard Top of the World. What he said was y'all, meaning
I heard
the media.
that. Yeah, I heard
right,
that.
Y'all put us on top of the world. That's what I take issue with, Rob.
I'm with you.
Right? Because was it the media, Rob, or Jerry Jones that a week ago said Mike McCarthy should take a bow because his fingerprints are all over this, meaning our offense? Was it the media or was it the owner, Jerry Jones, who said Dak Prescott is the best leader I've ever seen at the quarterback position?
Right. That wasn't us.
Was it the media or was it Micah Parsons who said the lion is ready to hunt? I got a new prey on my mind, and it's Josh Dobbs last week on his podcast. Was it the media or was it Micah Parsons who said 2 weeks ago, Rob, after game 1, right, 1 of 17, Cowboys Nation better buckle up and get ready because this is going to the Super Bowl? Was that the media? Did Tim Kalishaw in Dallas write an article? David Moore? Were you talking about that? Was I talking? Did we throw those accolades at Cowboys? You know what the media did? Gave the Cowboys props. You've looked great over the last 2 games. First 2 games. You a fantastic defense, all that. But it was the Cowboys themselves, Rob, who put them, to use Dak's words, on top of the world.
100%. I mean, don't look at it now and try to act like we weren't feeling good about ourselves, because that ain't true.
Right.
You were. Right. You were walking around like a rooster, Chris.
Thank you.
Stop acting like, oh, well, we never said we were that good. No, yes. Yes, you did. And regardless, the Cardinals are horrible, Chris.
Thank you.
They just gave it up to the Giants the week before, and then they come in there and lay an egg against that team. Now, come on. That's horrible. I'm not saying you're going to win every game, but the Arizona Cardinals, Chris, they're games you can lose, and nobody would even blink. There are games the Cowboys, nobody was saying they were going undefeated. Not one person.
We know you're going to lose, and you might lose to the best teams in the league tend to lose to lesser teams sometimes. That happens. But like you said it, Rob, I mean, this was a wake-up call, and there's nothing wrong with that. There would have been nothing wrong with Dak saying, you know what, I mean, we were great in the first 2 games. I mean, we win by 60 points. It's human nature, maybe. We try not to do that, but maybe, maybe we just, thought we could show up and win, right? And we didn't. And so now we've got to, regroup and start playing good football. But this can be a good thing for us because it can be a learning lesson. I mean, that's really what he should have said. Don't turn it on the media. The media had nothing to do with it.
That's all. It always comes back to us. And you know this, Chris. You've been in this business as long as I have. Whenever something goes wrong, it's always what we did or what we said. No. You demolished the first 2 teams. People expected the Dallas Cowboys to be 3-0 against a horrible Arizona Cardinals team. What part don't you get? Yes. Instead, they should have said, we came out there unprepared, unfocused. We put the W in the win column before we even played. This is the National Football League. And when you do that, you can get your feelings hurt. Because there's other guys on the other side of the ball, no matter how bad they are, Chris. They made it to the NFL.
They all can play.
They all can play, even the worst teams.
Yep.
And it's a cliche, but any given Sunday is real.
It's true. We just saw it. You mentioned Indianapolis with a backup quarterback.
They shouldn't have won that game. Are you kidding?
Yep. And so, yeah, I mean, nobody's saying the Cowboys season is over or anything like that, but accept the responsibility and learn from it and don't put it on the media. And, Rob, here's how bad. You mentioned the Cardinals being a bad team. I mean, number one, look, the media, including myself, were wrong for saying they're tanking, right? Before the season, they're tanking to get Caleb Williams. And maybe management felt that way, but the coach and the players are coming to play.
Chris, we talk about all the time.
And they're doing a good job. Give them credit.
We talk about all the time. They don't care what front office want to do, Chris.
Right.
They got to try to keep their jobs and play.
Yep.
You think they're going to lay down? If they lay down and play poorly, they might not be in the league next year and say, dude, you saw that performance last year? I don't want you on my team.
Absolutely right. And, Rob, this is a team, this is how bad they were. The Cowboys yesterday put up 16 total points on them, 1 touchdown. Against the team, Rob, talk about bad, that gave up 31 points in a half to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. That's how bad they were.
And you just mentioned that the caveat was Daniel Jones.
Right, thank you. Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. And so Dak did mention also, he was asked about the red zone. And Rob, the red zone.
Yeah, what channel is that on?
The red zone has been a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. Last week it wasn't good against the Jets. I think they were 2 for 6 as far as 2 touchdowns and 6 trips to the red zone. Yesterday, 1 for 5, 1 touchdown and 5 trips to the red zone. 1 interception. Of course, we saw that one late in the game. Rob, Dak Prescott was 2 for 9 passing the football in the red zone. And here's where I believe it was a big problem. At that last drive the Cowboys had, they got into the red zone with about 5.5 minutes left. And Rob, they ran 5 straight running plays up the middle with Tony Pollard and gained like 12 yards on the 5 plays. But Rob, they ate up 2 minutes of the clock, more than 2 minutes of time. Remember, they needed a second score too.
Right. You can't, Chris, you can't, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, we'll let you run the ball all day.
Right.
And I'll let you get some yards.
You got to throw the ball so you can score quickly and then get, stop them on defense and get the ball back.
Right. You needed 2 scores, not 1.
And I think one of 2 things was happening, Rob. One, either Mike McCarthy was like, I didn't trust Dak because he thought he might throw an interception, which obviously he did. And so he's going to run the ball. Or 2, McCarthy, who we've seen have clock management problems, kind of lost track, Rob, of the time, the score, and all that. And we saw their last 2 playoff games end in similar fashion.
Yeah, that makes
right. And so I don't know which one it was, but either way, it's not good.
Right. You have to say to yourself, no, we need to score quickly here. I need a big ball. I need a big play. You know what I mean? I need something downfield. And then we'll just, and if he throws it and gets picked, Chris, then we're not going to win anyway. But you need something there.
Good point. You at that point, you're desperate. We got to score. And so they didn't do it, but yeah, they just got to I think the best thing, and Dak denied it, but it's a wake-up call. And there's nothing wrong with that, Rob.